Hello and welcome to BFM's 89.9 Seconds, a show in which we give you glimpses into this week's news in just under 90 seconds. I'm Lee Chwi Lynn, joined today by Sharaad Kuttan and Aziff Azuddin. On the programme today, we have homegrown terrorists, we have boycotting Israel and the Ebola virus. Let's get started. First up, we have a story from the Jerusalem Post accusing Malaysia of breeding Hamas militants. Aziff, what's your take on it?
Now, I think if we look at the history that we've had, also with the rise of ISIS a few months ago, Malaysian authorities have identified several cells where we train insurgents. I think, so the question is, should we be alarmed that we are becoming training ground?
Well, are we being alarmist?
I think so. I mean, when you say we train them, it's not like it's government policy. It's not like even the political parties are participating in this. It is individuals or groups of individuals, voluntarily training themselves for ISIS. ISIS wasn't built in Malaysia, remember one.
But the training grounds are still from here, nonetheless.
No, they're coming here to train, or they are from here, so they train here. The Hamas story is very interesting because it's a single source story from Shin Bet, the intelligence agency in Israel. We don't actually have verification of this. So to now jump off the, and say, well, we are now become school for militants, I think is a bit much.
Well, but the question of being alarmist, I mean, if you look at how the media has framed the story over the last few months, there have been several front page stories going on about how, we're breeding homegrown terrorists. Is this something that we should be worried about? And now we're getting involved in somebody else's war, which,
And the fact that public sentiment has geared towards being anti-Israel, anti-Shi'is. I mean, there is possibility, there is claims that there could be that this is a possible training ground for militants.
Well, I mean, the question is, again, is it alarmist? Are we jumping the gun?
In our second story today, we're giving you the video equivalent of all those boycott Israel signs you see around town. Should we be boycotting Israel? Sharaad?
Well, we do have a boycott. We have a diplomatic boycott of the country. The question is...
We don't recognize them.
We don't recognize them. We don't, we can't actually go there on a Malaysian passport. The question really is, how come we have so much trade with them? And then for those who are trying to kind of square this circle and saying, well, if we're going to have a boycott against Israel, let's be thoroughgoing about it and make sure that the diplomatic efforts match the trade and economic ones as well.
Yeah, but looking at how globalized we are, I think it's not entirely possible to even boycott any country around the world, especially Israel, where their technology and service industry has permeated throughout the whole world anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I think there is a complexity to the thing, but the question is here, having the will to try and be as consistent as you can with your policy. If your policy is to hurt the country both diplomatically and economically, and so that it can change Israel's behavior.
Of course, there's hurting that country, and then there's hurting yourself. There's cutting your own nose off to spite your face. So there is that question: can we afford it? I think that's
the people who are now saying, okay, we should withdraw from the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement talks because America is a major supporter of Israel. Again, we're kind of like expanding it. So why stop at America? Why not go to Europe? All those countries that are in fact engaged in some way or another in supporting Israel.
I think many of us would like to ignore the fact that we do have direct trade ties with Israel, and that's part of it. Our third story today is Ebola, the virus that's claimed over 700 lives in West Africa. And the question here that I want to pose is, our government says that we're ready to deal with it should it cross our borders. And do we have faith in our government to take care of it?
I don't think it's a question of faith, actually, because it's the nature of the virus, the nature of the problem. See, it's not like, illegal migrants coming or undocumented workers coming through, checkpoints. This is a virus. No government in the world could stop it.
The nature of the virus is the worrying point, because symptoms don't show up sometimes until a little bit after, which is how you had that American traveller, flying on 2 flights and thereby causing...
But the question is, can we contain it? And I think our government will be able to actually do it properly, because I mean, we have the facilities, we have the services, and the government has also said we have enough medical facilities to help with it.
Well, okay, so there's several things. Malaysia always has the hardware. The question is, do we have the culture of being vigilant and being on the job all the time?
And therein lies the true problem, because you have so many medical personnel falling prey to the illness that I'm not sure. Look at our government hospitals. Are we really ready? Aziff, in rural areas, we're not just talking about KL. I mean, maybe we could contain it in KL. Can we stop it?
But the question is actually preventing it from coming into the country. And I think that's what the current surveillance efforts are kind of focus on international
I don't have a lot of faith in
deports.
those little guns they point at you. And that is it from us in this week's installment of BFM's 89.9 Seconds. If you have any comments, please leave them in the box below. We really do love reading them. And if you'd like more videos like this, please subscribe to video.bfm.my. That is it. Have a good weekend. Thank you for watching.